Hey, we have our special guest today, the founder of Strength Academy. Strength Academy has few other businesses such as gym, such as equipment, and such as apparels, and what else?
Coaching and training services.
Coaching, Demigod Strength Guide, and there is another one, Strength Academy Classics. So, yes, with this guy, right, is insane because I don't know how he can handle so many things in one pocket. So, welcome Hisham to the show.
Thank you, Ivan, and thank you for inviting me to the show as well. I believe like you sent me a text first or a DM first or something like that, and then like it took me a while to like think about it because I don't know. I saw your content. And I wasn't sure that like if I can fit inside there because like last time I did a podcast or like a content with someone else, it's more like I just like to like blabber and stuff like that. So like I don't really like to do like super like informative or like educative kind of stuff. Unless if I'm in the mood for it, because like I find that kind of content like a little bit like over time you need to like update it again and again and again. So like it's kind of like hard to think, and I sort of like is it okay if I say like I also have like a YouTube channel as well, and the fact that I used to like stop doing that channel because like at first it was like informative, and I kind of feel like okay, to start curating and also like thinking like what I want to do on it is a little bit like extra mental capacity, and I just feel like, you know what, like this I'll just like put aside slightly. But then like right now I'm restarting it, but if you realize like the current contents are just like, yes, it's informative, but then it's more of like I'm still like having fun with it, and like I don't have to like, oh wait, this like I didn't have this footage, I need to have this footage. Like I would just like whenever I can like grab a camera and then I just do it. And then if I can use that, if I can use a footage from it, I use a footage from it. But I did hear like an advice from like a very like successful like YouTuber or something like that. The reason why nowadays, if you want to start like a YouTube channel, it's quite hard compared to like previously, because nowadays there's too many like YouTube channels. So like, and a lot of people are thinking that like, okay, all that we needed to do is just to like show our daily lives and stuff like that. So the channel was saying that like that kind of content doesn't work anymore because like everyone else is doing that. So you need to find like a flair that sort of like creates people to like go to your channel. So like that's how I feel like, okay, you know what, I do show like my lives, I do show my life, but I think like the flair that I'm trying to add to the channel is the fact that I like to add like very spicy comments towards it, and like basically
sarcastic
or like some like very like highly opinionated like opinions from myself, and also like trying to show like slightly of like the vibe and the atmosphere of SA itself.
Right. And I think it doesn't matter like in terms of the content you said just now, right? I think in my podcast, it's more of like telling people about the story of personal trainings and also the stories of powerlifting as well. So the first guy that I think of is definitely going to be you, because whether if it's suitable, of course it is suitable, and whether if it has to be in education form, I don't think so. But when you talk about YouTube, right, actually it's quite interesting because a lot of people is in the nowadays like you said, it's super hard to start and make it successful with YouTube. Back in 10 years when Max Tuning and Christian Guzman, when they started, it's kind of like they blew up easily with just like few things they done, and they are just basically doing what you are doing right now. They taking a camera and then vlog everywhere.
But I kind of feel like the slightly different thing for them is the fact that, how to say, like I said, that time like it wasn't like super saturated. But also at the same time, if you realize, I'm pretty sure that their parents are not like, okay, I'm not sure about your background, but I'm just saying like for my background, my mom is a school teacher and my dad is just an engineer. So like no one is like helping out in terms of like trying to figure out like how I should do this, how I should do that, how I should do that. So I believe like, let's say like if we're talking about like Max or even like Guzman, it's more of like, I'm pretty sure based on like what they're showing, their parents
supportive.
is supportive. Not, I wouldn't really say maybe yes, maybe funds for sure. But then like I would say that at least their parents help them to figure out like some stuff, and the people around them are actually like very supportive of it.
Yeah.
But if you realize like here, it's if you like for sure like. I mean, like my channel wasn't to create like a lot more revenue for myself, but it's more of like, oh, okay, like you know what, I can do this on the side, which I'm pretty sure like that's what you're doing as well. And you know, like our timing and then our schedule are not the greatest.
Yeah.
But the fact that like we're just like, okay, you know, there's like this hole that we can put the time to like do this, and like that's what we're doing. You get what I mean? So like versus for them, I believe that time, I believe that time like YouTube was a full-time thing for them, kinda, and that's how they grow their businesses. But yeah, I believe like nowadays for my side, I'm just doing the YouTube just for like, because sometimes, like it or not, right, your clients will ask like, okay, like I got referred to you, or like I Googled and then I found this, but like how many clients do you have? How do you handle your client? How do you do this? How do you do that? And like your Instagram, like for me, I've unfortunately like I was trying to create like an aesthetic Instagram because I like to take photography before, but then like I just realized for the past like a year, it's all just like reels of me lifting. So I was like, wow, this is so ugly. So, but then but it doesn't necessarily show your personality and stuff like that. And like it or not, like maybe some people cannot accept your personality, some people can. But at least like by having your social medias, which is nowadays I believe like it's actually your business card and also your portfolio. So like people will look at your Instagram, people will look at your TikTok, people will look at your YouTube if you have any, and then definitely like your Google search and stuff like that. LinkedIn, I think it still works, but so far like I'm very like lazy on like updating on my LinkedIn.
What do you think about Twitter?
I think okay, so I used to be active on Twitter as well, but then I kind of like stopped doing it because number one,
it's just sarcastic.
Is it?
I don't know.
but I do believe like a lot of people are like getting news and like updates from Twitter. So I was like, and then when people were like talking like, oh, like there's this thing on Twitter and so that, and you're like, damn, I feel like this one old guy that doesn't like do Twitter. But then like that's the funny part, is because like, I'm also like born in '96, but I stopped using Twitter. I think I stopped using Twitter before I went to the States, which was like when I was doing my A-level, because I find Twitter a little bit too useless-ish, depending on like the kind of circle that you get into. I think if let's say you're on Twitter because you wanted to like get information, I think that's fine. But I don't really like the UI, because if let's say you are trying to if let's say you're trying to like, because there's a limit, like character limits.
I think you cannot record or do any form of recording, right?
That one, before this, I know they do, but then like not too long. But my point is that like, if let's say there's like 200 characters in like one tweet, right? And then like, let's say your character is like, let's say whatever information that you're trying to give is not enough in that 200, and then you're gonna have to like sort of like reply to your own tweet and then like make it into like I don't know what they call it, man. Tweet. No. There's a term I think that they use, like sort of like, okay, never mind, but like a chain of tweets.
I deleted Twitters like immediately in the first moment I downloaded.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a waste of space.
Yeah. There's that too. But then like having like those like strands of Twitters just to like see what the post is about. I feel like I could just use Facebook and then just like write down everything I need. And because in the process of like, let's say you're trying to educate someone with like a very long post on Twitter, someone might get cut off in half of the information and didn't get the like maybe the full detail. Something like that. So that's why I feel like Twitter might not be the best thing. Plus, like sometimes you get information on Twitter and you don't know if it's right or wrong. So it's quite hard. And I think like back then, Twitter wasn't like moderated at all. So there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of like things that I kind of like not really like to see. And now
really like to see.
Nowadays, like a lot of people are like sort of like, in my opinion, now I'm only seeing like 3 different kind of like Twitter users, or like what people are like telling me is that number one, either there's like those very informative like news kind of like users, which is like really nice. There's like those people who are just there to like rant or just like spread like conflicts or whatever. And then there's also like people who are like there.
I hate that, like conflict.
Yeah, and then there are people who are there to like, they just create like another account without their names or like their identity on it, because if you open Twitter, there's only the only thing that you
numbers.
Huh?
It's numbers on their name.
It's numbers on their name, or not just that, but the fact that let's say even if the name is like Ivan Lee, but that like if like only your profile picture is a picture, the rest are not a picture. So I think so. So
it's
like
all about words.
Yeah, so people don't really know who Ivan Lee actually is. So that's when like you can just be a different persona and then say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But without having a responsibility to like whatever you say. So that's why I feel like it's kind of like not that the greatest. Yeah.
Interesting. So when you talk about social media, right? What's the current YouTube vision that you are having, or maybe what's the goal that you are chasing for? Because I saw like back then your view is super high. It's like
a little bit,
like almost a few 20Ks.
Nah, what on YouTube?
Yeah.
Nah, I think YouTube the
at least 1,000.
The heaviest was 1.5, but that was when I sort of like hinted and showed like what Strength Academy was, which was like a part 1 towards the video, and then like
that's a good start, right?
Yeah, but I think that was the last video of that year, because after that like everything just like take flight, and then like I have to take care of SA and stuff like that. And then I keep on like saying that okay, I need to like show like what SA is, and then like what we do at SA and stuff like that. But over time, I don't know, I just feel like it's nice to show like what the gym is, but also at the same time I kind of like, because I want to keep the precious moment, but I also feel like whatever I record on that time isn't enough to show that like no, it's more than what's behind this like it's more than what's inside the lens,
the
like
culture.
So like I don't feel it's fair to show just that video, because I feel like there's a lot more, and I am not creative enough to show the more part of it. So that's why like we actually like, there had been a few times that I always like try to introduce SA like properly, but like I just don't have the courage to like show it.
Can you tell all of us? I like.
Oh, I see.
The people behind. I believe like from my point of view, it's kind of like the culture in SA itself is very strong. And I remember when the first year when you opened, there was a lot of people that coming every single night and then partying. I don't know, like doing a lot of stupid stuff all together, and you know like.
I honestly like, okay, so I for a while whatever like Ivan said just now, it's more of like I would say the founding members of SA. They are like probably like the top, the first 10 members of SA or something like that. And what you are referring to just now was more of like the culture that we have, like maybe like every Friday night we will have like potlucks, or like every night we will have just like people coming in just to like not even train, but just like to hang and stuff like that.
It's not like a gym.
Yeah, it wasn't like a gym at all. People were just like sleeping like everywhere and stuff like that. So I believe, like unfortunately, like out of like certain conflicts that like it's fine, but more of like I do feel like a little bit like attached to that, and also like I do feel like a little bit sad that we don't really have that kind of like culture anymore. I mean we still do, but it wasn't like as strong as before. But the thing that like made me feel like, oh okay, this is why we don't really have it before, is because previously SA was launched right after COVID. Right? Like right after, like I believe like COVID 2.0 in Malaysia or something like that.
That's where you keep on carrying all the stuff from your house to here.
So like, but basically like that time, everyone is sort of like work from home kind of like vibe, and like people who are just finishing like their studies, which are people like me, they don't know how they're gonna like move forward in their life, right? So because of that, we have a lot of people who have plenty of time in their hands.
Yeah.
So that's why like they can even like work from gym. Like they just bring their laptops and stuff like that, and then like music so low, and then like people just like work, and then like once they are work, they just like train or something like that.
Right.
But over time, like we just accepted the fact that like those 10 of my really really good friends and like members, they sort of like started to like things start to pick up, and then like they start to like have to handle their own time. And of course, like if let's say you only, let's say before this you have maybe 5 hours a day, right, extra, then like maybe you can use that 4 hours in the gym, and then like 1 hour for yourself. But let's say when you start working and stuff like that, you maybe like reduced it to like 3 hours left. So the 2 hours that you have to put in the gym, then you just do it in the gym, but then like you cannot really like
extra time to like spend with the members,
or like you have that extra time to spend with yourself,
right?
So something like that. So that's why like I wouldn't really say that the culture is not here anymore. I would say the culture is still here. It's just like with a different faces. And like once in a while, if let's say, because like it or not, if we do events, you're gonna see the same faces that was here like from the get-go. So like I think that's the beauty of it, is the fact that you know that some of these members are no longer members because they either like have a home gym and then they can just like train at their home whenever they can, or they sometimes like hop around, or but whenever you have an event, they will show up. So like that's kind of like the sort of like trust that we kind of like already built and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the nice of it. So for example, like let's say like Ivan say Strength Academy Classics, which is like our annual powerlifting meet. Hopefully we have more than Strength Academy Classics in the future. We'll see how that goes. Maybe if we have more manpower, maybe like you wanna like, I'm pretty sure like if I invite you to be a little bit of a manpower in the management and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure like you'll be interested in it, because I know you and you like to like, you want to try to grow the sport itself, right?
Yes, sir.
So but like let's say SAC, right? Another funny thing is, some people thought SAC is the gym.
That was the misconception, right? I heard a few of my friends also say, go to the SAC. Wait, what?
And you're like, why would I go back in time in like February?
When? Are you competing that time?
So like sometimes I get DMs, you know, and people were like, how's SAC these days? I was like, what? What? Like
it was last year, bro.
It was last year. It was like, no, SAC is in February. And we were like, then your gym is like SA. you're like, God. So to me, I feel okay. Before we touch that part, but what I'm trying to say is that like when we do SSC, these friends like will show up to be like volunteers and stuff like that. And then like of course like they cannot stay for long and stuff like that, but then they do volunteer for it. So I feel like at least they have SA in their thoughts and like helping, because the vision that I have for SA is regardless of like how it grows, how I'm trying to like do stuff. The vision of SA itself is to grow the community and the sports the SA way. So like that's why you realize I'm not within any committee and stuff like that, because I made a deal that I won't be in any committee and stuff like that, because we want to still grow within how I need it to grow. So go back to the story of like SAC and SA. That one is funny, but to me I find a slight joy in it, but also a slight sad in it, because it sort of like means that the reputation of SAC exceeds the reputation of SA itself. So like, which is sort of like the opposite of it.
Kinda.
So something like that.
But I do really felt that SAC it's just like a nitro in your business, where when you launch SAC that time, because the event to my friends, it is super good.
This was like last year or this year?
Last year.
The in-house.
Diamond is this year, last year.
Diamond is this year.
This year. It was super good until the point where we all felt that it's kind of like, it's not like non-biased, but then we felt that we enjoy the whole flow.
I see.
Although on that time itself, yes, they had some delays. But the preparation, the ballroom, the places, and also the people and the vibes giving it up is very different. And to me, I felt like it's more of like you won't feel lonely when you are in SSC. I don't know. It just gives me this kind of vibe where people will be willing to talk extra. Because when I go to other meet, right, people are joining in all around the places, and when they join in, it's quite like how to say, it's kind of like a stranger to stranger. But the moment you step into SSC, it's kind of like, oh, okay, everyone is like a members and like a team.
You mean the volunteers or the athletes? Because SSC you didn't compete.
No.
In SSC.
Yes, but I came to volunteer. Yeah, and also I handled Michael on that time.
So you are talking in the point of a volunteer, or you're talking in the point of...
It's just from outsiders' point of view. Like the moment, okay, I would say kind of like volunteers' point of view. Wouldn't say more of like a athlete because I didn't compete, but it's just give me a different flow lah.
I see. Yeah. So more of like...
I think it's the people inside SSC though.
The competitors or the everyone like else?
Everyone else.
Oh.
Yeah. But how was it to you?
How is it to me? Post or pre?
I mean, in general.
In general, like, so like okay, so I mean, I'm pretty sure like some of it is like a bit clear on like whenever I do like those like director's cut and stuff like that. And actually like until now, people still like expect me to do like director's cut for like meets. And I was like they did ask for like nationals as well. And then same thing, I said, oh no, national, I'm not the director. So like there's no director's cut because like I'm not the director. But how to say, pre-meet, I think like me and Calvin really like we didn't expect it to be that big, to be honest with you. Like we sort of like say, okay, maybe we'll hit 120.
Yeah.
But then like, we were like, nah, we're just saying, we're just saying, right? And then I remember like it was like we hit 60 participants on the first 3 days of like opening the registration. And then like I remember like it was just us two in the gym, like me and Calvin, and then like we were like warming up, and then I looked at Calvin. I was like, bro,
120?
Yeah, no.
Just saying?
Yeah, it's like, because we needed to know like how many days we want to run it and then how to run it. And then like I looked at Calvin, I was like, bro, did you see the registration? And then he was like, you know Calvin being Calvin, right? He was like, yeah. And I was like, so should we be scared now? And then he was like,
or maybe dream come true?
Yeah. But it's a dream that like but then he was like, nah, the hype will die down, like people will not register as much.
Fuck, man.
And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And then like less than a month later, we hit like 120, and then I look at Kevin, I was like, bro, what?
How much is it? Like
actually we have like 125, but then like we had to cap it off at like 114. So the rest, the 10 or 7 more people after was put in waitlist.
Oh.
And then unfortunately, like due to political reasons, I had to like try to absorb some few. So that's what we do. That's what we did. And yeah, there was like, of course, like a slight commotion between me and Calvin, but then like I'm quite thick-headed, so like I always like try to fight my points out. And like we try, and then we executed the meet. But to our eyes, there are quite a few things that is like lacking, especially like because I take complaints like quite like, even if let's say let's say you are not complaining to me.
Yeah.
Let's say you just like tease me and say like, hey, why is this like this or something like that, right?
Yeah.
To me, I find that as a feedback, because a tease, like it or not, you will mean like 5% of it.
Yeah.
So, and I consider it as like a constructive feedback, as like, oh, like, yeah, why didn't I think about this? If let's say it's a complaint and I have an answer for it,
Yeah.
then like I can answer straight away. And if I have, believe it or not, if I have an answer for something, it means that like I just cannot do anything about it at that time, right? But I find that like there's quite a few things that I think can be a lot better for SSC, because like for me, I feel like the way that we set it up wasn't like the greatest, because like there's like empty chairs and people were not like willing to like be like close to each other and stuff like that, or there's like an imbalance towards the hall itself, where one side there's like a lot more people and then one side there's not many
Trust
people.
me, I think everyone, like almost all the other mates have the same issue.
Yeah, but the thing is that like I try to be like quite perfectionist-ish.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to like adapt and also like up the game regardless of what. And also like the fact that like we have vendors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So fortunately, like the vendors are like quite happy with like the outcomes, but of course it would have been a lot better. But at least what I pitched to them wasn't more than what. Like wasn't like more than like what they actually get. So like they actually get what I pitched, but of course more is always better, right?
That's true.
And then like there are a few like I would say not say disputes, but more of like let's say some media issues and things like that, or like for example like
Is it a TV thing?
No, it wasn't the TV thing, but for example, like we didn't make it clear of like how the media should be, like meaning that like can you bring your own media team at the back or something like that.
Okay.
Because like we have our official media, but then like there are some people who bring their own media, and like we didn't make it like clear, and that was like my fault to my part. And also like how say. Not just that, but another thing, like for example, a lot of like some small registration stuff, but because like it or not, since it's like a qualifier, so there's a lot of like new lifters. So and some of these new lifters are really like they don't realize that like different kind of like competitions might have different stuff, or like you know it might be new to them, and because they don't have like a proper handler or so that, it's very like all over the place. But overall I kind of feel like there's a lot of things that I can fix from SSC, and just to make the overall like better. Like I believe like one thing that I got really like disappointed was the fact that SSC 22 we had a different kind of lighting, because it's like inside SA itself, right? So it really feels like when you are on stage, it really feels that you're on stage. like because of the spotlights and stuff like that. Versus this one, we sort of like wasn't sure how the lighting was gonna turn out, and like how to say, like I said, I have like creative issues, so I would have too much like ideas in my head, but I also like don't know which one is like good or not. So we were just like with the media team, we were like, okay, maybe this will be good, but then at the same time we don't know if it's gonna work. So that's why we just like, okay, you know what? The whole place is like already like well lit. Let's try to see if it's okay or not.
Who designed this light?
Me. Everything was myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, we don't know. So basically, like it works. The whole like Dharma Mall lighting works, but it wasn't the greatest in my opinion. So
I think Hisham just kind of have the perfectionist mindset.
Because bro, okay, I'm being very
Everyone's doing mistake lah.
Yeah, but I'm being very honest, right? Like because I whenever I try to like do meets or something, right, I won't like, not to say I won't like consult with like designers or something like that, but I would try to get ideas from like different events, not local events, because like local events are are just like that. So I've been to like Raw Nets in the US and stuff like that, and like we really feel like damn, you can feel the vibe, you can feel that. Yes, of course you feel nervous.
Okay, talking about Raw Nets, right? In US, like is it really different? Because I never been before. Like
Okay, I would say it's like this, right? The Raw Nets that I've been to was 2019, which is
Houston?
No, it was in Chicago.
Oh.
So it's Western Chicago. So Lombard, Illinois. Yeah. So
Okay.
but point is that like okay, that time USAPL is under IPF, right? And then now USAPL like nationals are usually in like Vegas, which is like a very like party-ish city.
Yeah.
Which means that they have a lot more funds and stuff like that. So before this, they don't really have that funds. Like the cash price wasn't that crazy, but then now the cash price is like crazy as hell. But what I'm trying to say is, even at that level, even in 2019, I'm not at prime time, but during my session, there's like 5 platforms going. But you don't feel, when you're on the platform itself, you don't feel like there's like 4 other platforms next to you. You just feel like there, and the venue itself, you imagine the whole of Diamond Mall
Yeah.
is just the warm-up area.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. So okay, the slightly different way that they're doing it is more of like, okay, now imagine if you flip, you know how our like warm up area in Diamond is like slightly smaller compared to like the main area. They flipped it around so that the warm up area is bigger, and then the main side is smaller so that it's slightly more compact. Yeah. And then they just get bleachers, which I'm pretty sure you know what bleachers are.
No.
Like basically like seats that are like portable that you can like stack. So like a stadium kind of like.
Gillette Stadium. Like,
Yeah. So they have that inside there, and then like they have like coming in, they have like a booth lining up, like all like the SBD, A7, Mark Bells is how they're like lining up, leading towards that hall itself, and then like in the front is like all those 5 platforms, and then like opposite of it, not so far, would be like maybe like 10 stacks of chairs, and then behind it are the bleachers. So maybe yes, it is quite big, but it's like that. And then like the whole place was dark. Yeah, the whole place is dark except for the platforms.
I saw like there's last year, I think the Asians, is it Asians?
Dubai?
Yeah, they compete in a place where, because I watched the video from another guy, the Brunei guy. Last time he competed just to qualify national. Remember the guy in SSC? The Brunei guy. Under 59.
Martin, yeah.
Martin. I saw his YouTube. So it was
that was Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Is it that kind of setup? Like it's dark everywhere, but it's only the spotlight is only on the stage.
Yeah, except that when you go to international meets which are like Commonwealth or Asians, you're not allowed to have music in there. But yeah, like it's in the rule book itself. But you know, USAPL has just like a way to just like, you know what, screw it. Just, you know, like lifting is all about like, you know, like heavy metal, heavy like stuff like that. Yeah. So like it was very, very loud. That like it's like, okay, imagine 5 platforms, right? Each platforms warm-up has like 10 platforms ish, 10 combo racks. Yeah. So imagine if let's say each of those 5 platforms at the front, behind it has a big LCD screen, cameras like shooting like everywhere, and then like when prime time comes, only one the main platform is like lit up, and like it's like I mean I don't know, but like you really feel like a star-ish. So whenever I try to like curate SAC, I wouldn't really think of it as like, oh, I just need to run an event. But I'm trying to curate it in a point that like I'm trying to like put myself as a competitor, as an athlete, and like, okay, how can I make myself feel strong? How can I make myself feel like I will come back? right? So it's because I believe if you put yourself in just the director's point of view, there's a lot of things that you will miss out, and there's a lot of things that you sort of like forgot. That's why like when I did like my last video, I talked a little bit about
the judge.
Not say the judge, but more of like I talked overall like meet experience, because to me a meet experience is very important. So it's so it's the same as like when someone is going to the gym, to any gym, like it or not, there is a thing called like a gym experience. So you could either like feel like you know, you could go to somewhere like a very expensive gym, and you could be like, I don't think like I wanna like
lift it here.
Lift here or like
take picture here.
Yeah.
Babel.
Yeah. Oh, is it? I've never been there yet.
I've never been there before, but it's kind of that kind of vibe.
Yeah, that goes to same like of course I screw up a little bit for SA because I think too much about how to make people feel like strong here, and also like how to make people feel like you can bust ass here. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, like you can censor that part if you want. But also have a little bit of like comfort of staying in the gym slightly longer, you know. But how to say, of course you can see that the gym is not super family friendly. Sometimes it does, like Mira's family is a different case, but like we do have like some people like having like bringing their kids and stuff like that. But the overall of like, you know, like let's say talking about the SA experience, right, you would realize like maybe you are not close to any of these lifters, but before they go back or before you go back, you would have like a feeling of like, I need to say goodbye to everyone.
Definitely.
If I don't, I'm gonna feel like they're gonna think that I hate them. Like that. So like that's the funny part.
Okay, talking about this is funny because you remember the time where I do my peak week,
like last
you were
week?
sleeping, and you were sleeping. So I need spots. So I need spotting, and I only know Arif on that day. So I couldn't get enough people. I need 2 more people to help. So I was a little bit like shy to ask. But when I met Glenn, that was the first time I met Glenn, and also the other client,
Abot, I think.
Abot. So I was like trying to ask them, hey bro, can you like
give a spot?
I haven't finished my sentence. The moment they know they are here. They're like So that kind of vibe And I mean maybe that's what you're talking about.
So like talking about that, like okay, this sounds a bit wrong, but sometimes like if let's say that time I think is Arif shifts, that's why like I was like I can like sleep and then take a rest, but sometimes
chill lah.
No. But like before this I don't have the capacity to like hire part-timers, but we do have people who are like, oh no, it's okay, you can rest, like we'll take care of the gym slightly. Or if let's say before this maybe I really have to like go and get some like retrieve some documents and stuff like that, and then like the fact that I made them feel like, you know, if the gym burns down, they lose the gym. like I lose the gym, but they also lose the gym. So because of that, they feel like, oh okay, I need to like take care of the gym slightly. So it makes them feel slightly of a sense of belonging, and also the fact that like I think about the whole spotting thing. If you go ahead and ask people these 2 questions, right? Would you rather have a stranger asking you for a spot, or would you rather see the stranger fail on their own? They will most probably say, we'd rather give them a spot than seeing them fail, because whenever someone fails in here, it just kills off the whole vibe. Right. So like and
the powerlifting vibe.
So that's why like, because I have I asked one of Kevin's clients, because Kevin has slightly more like older female clients.
Yeah.
So I asked them, I was like, okay, what do you think? Because he used to PT in Aspire, which is like down the road, and it's very like boutique-ish. Kelvin, it's very like.
Oh, Calvin was in Aspire.
But not under them. It's just a freelance PT lah.
Oh.
But it's more. But then like like that's like more of like a boutique-ish kind of gym.
Correct.
Where you as a okay, why do people go to like your old place? Because they want to be a bit more private, right?
Okay. Yeah. Mainly yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But
this is a private studio where.
Yeah. Versus some people don't want to go to like this kind of gym because number one, even like guys are pushed away by these people because they are way stronger.
You know what? I think it's the audience differences though.
Yeah.
Like, because in Move, what they are doing is they are doing it private, and target audience is more of the T20-ish. So meaning the clients that they are targeting is more of the Gen Pop clients where they really want to start off exercising.
Yeah.
And kind of reach in a way.
Well, like in a way that some of our clients are actually that.
Yeah.
But I guess the difference is your T20 are the one who separates themselves from everyone else, versus our T20s are the one that like, we don't want to look T20. We want a community. We don't want to look T20. We just am at the gym to be healthy and like not just like sit something like that. But my point is that
is there those your personal training clients?
Wait, what?
Yeah, you mean this group of people that you mentioned?
They are like, how to say, they have, of course they have funds for sure, right? But it's more of like at the end of the day they know that if let's say they go to like a commercial gym, right? This is the kind of like services that they get, versus like how to say that to me, I find it there's a reason why people like find SA to like train is because we sort of like have already like established that like, if you really want to learn about movement and then like especially heavy movement, this is where you go for like and the reason why I got very surprised is because at first, lucky or not, you would sort of like pay attention to your clients, right? So then the reason why I was like very surprised because after maybe like 1 year of like opening SA, we start having those clients who the way that they come to the gym is their driver dropped them off, or like or like just to be honest, judging by like what they wear or like what they drive.
Wait, all the oldest-ish people or the even the young one?
Both.
What the fuck, man?
Both. So like something like that lah. But then like we to me, regardless of like what their backgrounds are and stuff like that, if let's say, because we already know the reason why they come here is because either they have got injured before or they have some issues with their like ego. Or maybe they have a little bit issue with like their old trainers and stuff like that. So like I think you met my 55-year-old like client, right?
I know there's a Chinese guy with a girl, right?
No, not that one. But like the one that competed at SAC. I showed the picture, the video.
Is it the girl, the woman?
Yeah, the woman. So she's 55, and she's like, how say, her TikTok has like what 60k followers or something.
Seriously?
Yeah, she's 55.
What she do?
Pharmacies and also like a lot of like other businesses and stuff. But point is that like people were like asking her like, is it okay like that she is a female, but also is like training with a male trainer, and then like the way that you train them with a stick, right? So like for me, I find
magic stick.
Yeah, for me like I sort of like I used to use the PVC pipe like stuff before, but then like as I train more and more, and then like as I start getting this group of people, I find it like this might not be the way for me to teach them because it might look a bit like intimidating and also like rough. So I started to like try my best to show instead of like to use like steak.
Kinesthetics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
touchings and
yeah, and then like usually, I will make sure that like if let's say I needed to touch them, and it's just a very very like sort of like light touch, and also like just like pushing them. But once they start moving, then I will let go. Unless if it's something that like you have to force them to do something, then that was a different case. So because of that, it creates a sense of like security towards the clients itself, and then that's sort of like how they talk to their friends. It's like when their friends are saying that, oh, like male trainers are usually like pervert-ish and stuff like that, and then you're like how say okay, this sounds a bit like narcissistic or something like that. But if I have a slight younger female clients, the first thing that I make sure is I tell them, okay, here's the deal. I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know like who referred you here. If you met me from social media or anything, and let's say you are here to train, but at the same time you are here to get close to me, that won't work because my policy.
That won't work.
Because my policy will always be like, let's say you and I are friends, right? But once you are my client, inside here, I will treat you
as a
client. So like that's why like, let's say even if you see me train Atika, right, which you know like one of my like longest and closest like client, you will see if I train her, I could like be very mad at her, or like I could like be very very strict. But then like let's say she's done with her session, and like let's say she's eating or something like that, then I can be friendly that time. But there will be a boundary of like, if let's say I believe like before this, right, there's quite a lot of issues of like, you would see like male trainers like go out with their female clients and go eat and stuff like that, right? Versus like, I don't think that's like okay at all. The only leeway that I give is like, maybe if it's my birthday, then like it's a different case. But because I find it rude if I keep on like rejecting and stuff like that. And yes, you can bring me food, but then like, to bring me out for food is probably no. Like if let's say even if let's say I want to go buy stuff in like Jaya Grocer or like what do you call that, like Family Mart or something, and let's say you are my female client, and let's say you want to come and then buy with me, I would say, oh no, it's okay, you just tell me what you want to buy. I just buy.
You know what, in Chinese they call it lan xi.
Why? I thought that one is like for like gangster stuff, no?
It's just Hisham is super lazy. That's it. No, basically it's just that you have your own boundaries lah. Because I don't know about you and your partner, but one of my previous partners asked me this before, like, oh, your clients are quite hot and then quite pretty and sometimes, right? Like how do I know that I am safe? What the fuck, man? Seriously?
Yeah. Because like you are a personal trainer, and again, there's a image of personal trainers towards like everyone else.
Is it like how?
Like how? Like
what kind of image?
Like what kind of image? Like it's the same. Like let's say personal trainers, like especially like male, I would say. Most of them, like it or not, don't have any boundaries between them and the clients.
That's kind of like a fuck boys from US. You know, all the personal trainers is from US.
But
gangsters.
Kind of. But I think I see it more often in Malaysia. Because I started like, did we start lifting like about the same time? Like I started in like 2012, 2013 then.
Bodybuilding 2016.
Okay, so back then, like, it's very very like common, like you would see, okay, right now when let's say you go train your clients, right, would you show up at the gym with your clients, or would you like leave the gym with your clients or anything, or would you go pick up your clients?
That's a very interesting story to talk about. I personally, first thing first, I did not really see that kind of things happening in my era. I don't know, but maybe if it's in my era, I don't really think that, because when I started, right, personal training used to be very
cheap, very like easy to get.
That was my era. Very cheap, but it's not to the point where they will like, you know, go and hang out with clients and do that kind of shit stuff. Because with the moment I started my journey, I already qualified from my certified fitness instructor. That's where there's one boundaries in our textbook saying that to keep it
very professional,
right? By, you know, if you want to ask your clients out, or maybe you want to date your clients, you just got to do something. You just you don't make a deal in the gym. And that is my personality, and that is my personal boundaries to myself since the start. So
understood.
I don't really
like
that point.
I think also you started your journey in Malacca, is it? Yeah, okay. Unfortunately for you,
Malacca is a different story.
No, Malacca.
Oh, fuck boys, please come out.
Malacca is very like, how to say, it's very late, I believe, in terms of like the whole like fitness stuff. I think like only lately you guys get quite a number of like new gyms and stuff like that. Versus like, I think when I first started gym, I already moved to Selangor, I think. I think so. So it's like, bro, like I'm not gonna lie, like if you see, let's say I'm a trainer, right? And then like let's say I do let's say I usually train with these two girls, and then they train together, let's say. Then you're gonna start seeing that they sort of like, they started like going out and eat and go to movies and shit like that, stuff like that. And like it or not, this is like the very how to say, dark side of like personal training that time before was the fact that like
fuck each other.
I mean, like at some point you're gonna see that like one, like let's say one girl, two girls and then one guy, right? Let's say something like that. Then you're probably gonna see that maybe the slightly hotter one out of those two girls, not say get jealous, but started like actually like dating with the trainer, and you're gonna see that the other person sort of like won't be training with that trainer anymore. And the fact is that like before this I believe when a lot of like this movement performance kind of like training is a thing, when aesthetic is just a thing, people tend to, let's say like this, people right now finding Ivan because they want to learn or like how to move this, how to be safe like this, or like how, or like even some are following your vision. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Before this, personal trainers business card is their body.
Yeah.
Right. So, like it or not, people who are attracted to you, or people who are your clients, are people who are attracted to you. But before this, it's more of people who are attracted to your body.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So because of that, the mindset is slightly different. Unless if you manage to nurture that person into being like, you train with me, it's all just business, and you need to show your performance. Because I believe for me with my clients, there's only two things that I sort of like is looking for them. Is number one is that like their performance, if let's say they are training with me strictly for like powerlifting, their performance can be depicted by by their numbers, right, and movements itself. Or second of all is by if let's say their goal is to get better and like get healthier, then like they need to prove it. And like it or not, you can ask my clients, and sometimes I would even go as far as like, let's say suddenly your performance decline, right? I would go as far as saying that like if your performance keep on declining, like, and if let's say it is actually my fault that your performance is declining, then let me know, and I will try my best to like think about like what I am doing differently or what I did wrong. But if let's say your performance is declining because of distractions, and if let's say I am the distraction, or if let's say you got distracted by something else, I'd rather not train you, and you can go and you can come back whenever you think you're ready for it. So I think think I believe only so far only 2 people have like left and that one is because I straight away say that like I told their parents, I say I don't want to train.
You told their parents?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, some of the younger ones, the ones that like are paying for them is their parents.
Right. So you mean all the younger one that who wants to compete, right?
Not say just compete, but also just like want to train. And I would just say that, okay, uncle, like say your son or your daughter,
It's not giving a fuck.
it's like their performance is declining, and I really don't know why. But these are my sort of like my
My boundaries,
assumptions and like something like that. So like I don't want to train I don't want to train your son or your daughter, not because they have problems or anything, but because I feel like I don't want to waste your money regardless of how rich you are.
Yes.
I don't want to like waste your money and earn to me like a slightly haram money, because basically they're just paying and
just for the sake of paying.
For the sake of paying. And I say, if he or she is ready to come back and train, make sure that he or she have the motivation, not just for the sake of like doing it.
I think they're doing it right, because from my point of view, when at the moment I lead trainers and all of us have this same mindset, is that we want to make sure that as a personal trainer, we are not doing stuff for just like getting paid. We want to do stuff that are able to help people in terms of their goals. Whatever goals you have, as long as we are able to help out and we are expert in that kind of field, we are going to do it no matter what. To a point where if like I met a lot of experienced trainers, to a point where all experienced trainers, right, they have their own principle, and the concept of the principle will never change, which is, you want to train with me, you got to put effort together, same level of effort as me, and that's my call. And if you cannot do it, because I always ask my client, especially my new clients, I always ask like commitment 1 to 10, like how much you can put it in. The moment they say 9, I'll just ask again. If they say below 8, I will just say think again and come back to me. Because it's 2 ways. And I think the way you say that, the fact that you cannot help them out and then you just ask them to quit, that's not the wrong thing, but maybe they take it wrongly. They just felt like Hisham is fancy.
But then I do believe, like, you remember when you wanted to start coaching with me, right? Like there's like one question that I asked you: why do you want to train with me? Right? It's because, like, how to say, I find that as a compatibility kind of stuff. So if let's say you how to say, I think one compatibility that I find is that, like, okay, let's say you want to train with me, but then like, okay, no. Sorry.
What was the catch that you see? And I think I'm quite picky with choosing a coach also. So I want to ask, like, what was the catch that you have when the moment I ask you, like,
okay, there was like, for your case, there's like 3 things that like the reason why I agree to train with you, and especially because you are a personal trainer. So there's like 3 things about you that the reason why I took you in, but then there's also 3 other group of people that if I can, I will not train them. Okay. So the first one why I take you in is because you got injured before. So I got very worried about that part, and like it or not, like, I do believe like an injury can really be avoided by proper coaching and stuff like that. Like for goodness sake, like so far my injury were all like really wear and tear, and also like out of training injuries. So like especially sleep, because like I'm very wild when I sleep. It's so to me, like when you get injured, right, and then like you ask the physio, right, why did I get injured? And
just I don't have enough of sleep.
No. They were like, like how's your sleeping positioning? And I was like,
No, I didn't sleep.
I was like, I sleep, but then like I sleep, but then like
sit.
when I sleep, I just like do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder
shit.
it was falling.
Sorry, man.
Oh, sorry. Oh, then my leg cramp.
Oh shit. Yeah, I kind of moved a bit. Yeah. So basically, Hisham is just a coach that it's not easy to get. Okay.
But
you want to train with Hisham? There's few conditions here.
there's a few
You
conditions.
listen.
And then, but then second of all is the fact that also the fact that you are a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So I believe like, okay, you know what, like this is a way to grow the sport and also like give like proper sort of like teaching kind of stuff, right? And then lastly, I remember the same sentence that you use and the same sentence that I keep on posting was the fact that you say that one day you want to like overtake my placements and also like be the best U66. So I find that as like, okay, like you are a test for me because like it or not, if you overtake me, then it's a double-edged sword kind of. It's like it means that like, oh, maybe there's something wrong with me for losing, but also at the same time, if let's say I'm giving my all, and you give your all and you win, then it means that like I help you win. You get what I mean? So like it's sort of like do you see why there's like a conflict there?
Yeah.
But of course, it doesn't. I feel like the fact that now you bench the same amount as me, but at the recent like raw nets you bench more than me, is a sign that like I am helping you to like move more weight. Though sometimes it seems like, let's say you know that time when you like really try to push your bench and I say no, we take a step back.
Yeah.
But I see the outcome, right? So like sometimes if let's say I pull someone back, it doesn't necessarily means that like I'm trying to stop them from like progressing, but I am slowing them down so that they can progress faster next time. Something like that.
Talking about this, I need to pause for a while. So just now you mentioned the 3 conditions of why you take me in, right? So I need to pause this for a while. Like, because when you talk about the third point where I want to win, right? And there's one question inside this podcast that I want to ask, which is like, why, how did you accept the fact that your client, your athlete, came to you and said that they want to win, they want to win, and they are in the same category as you? And what was your mentality? You know, over these cases? Because I mean, like athlete mindset, we believe that, you know, as always, a lot of people can be stronger than you, and you don't want to be just you alone that is winning. And a lot of people were struggling with this kind of mindset out there, like you know, I always want to be the best. Like, in your own opinion, like.
Okay, so like it or not, right?
Yeah.
I like to see people when they like progress. Like I find joy in that. Okay.
Yeah.
So but talking about this, right? Okay, do you realize that my behavior during nationals was different before we start the competition and during the competition? During the comp, if you realize, the only thing that I talk to you is, are you okay? I never ask you about anything else anymore. Yeah. But before the comp, we still talk. Yeah. So that separates to the point that, okay, you know that I juggle with a lot of hats, right? I need to take care of my face as the owner of SA. I need to take care of my face as the coach of the SG. But I also need to take care of my face as the team captain from Malaysia. So meaning that as an athlete, I need to perform still, right? Now, I find the ability for me to like switch on and off of my switches is a skill. So the fact that, okay, as a coach, right, my responsibility is to grow my athletes like the best way possible. And regardless of like what they ended up with, like as long as I know that I've given my all to grow you guys, like I'm satisfied as a coach. If you manage to win, and let's say one day you manage to overcome me, which to be honest with you, I don't think that's a problem at all. Because if let's say you look at your previous numbers before you got your injuries, your numbers was actually slightly higher than mine, especially your deadlift. Because I believe you hit 240 before I hit 240. 230, yeah.
230,
I think, okay, then if that's the case, you hit 230 about the same timing as I hit 230. The only difference that time was, and our bench was almost the same as well. The only difference was the squats.
Yes.
But same thing, like your squat at that time is quite trash lah, I would say. So, yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. So, but my point is that like, oh, he has the potential. Like, let me see if I can do something about that potential and help you get better. Okay, now goes to the second point. As an athlete, I myself need to take care of my own training. So it's independent of what I do with you. If let's say I want to win, I have to give my all to win. It doesn't have anything to do with like what Ivan Lee is doing or what I'm doing to Ivan Lee. It's more of like I am Ivan Lee coach, but I'm also a different persona. Is I am his competitor, and like I need to juggle around and do what's best as a coach, but also do what's best for myself. But I know myself. Right. So if let's say at a pinch point where let's say one deadlift separates us apart, let's say that in that situation itself, I believe the data is already there, right? So I will give you the data, and okay, this is the data, and this is, you can do this, but I will not tell you what I'm gonna do. But you have the right to, like, if you want to change that data and just give it a YOLO pull or something like that. It's completely up to you. But I give you your data, and this is like the best possible outcome without thinking about like what I'm gonna do next. And if let's say I know that, okay, you can win, and let's say I know that, okay, my condition on this day is not good, then me as an athlete, when I try to do my attempts, I will be like, okay, like, what can I do today? If let's say I feel like I want to challenge you, then like, can I challenge? Do I want to challenge or something like that? Because it's the same case. Like, if you realize now, for example, right, all of Syed's number is like more than mine already. And he's only a 74 as well. So the question of like, how do I handle someone who might be my competitor, but also is my client, is just like that. It's already proven that I'm trying my best to give a fair deal to everyone. And during SSC last time, there was a question that was brought up with a lot of people, because that time, if you realize, Atika and Sio are in the same weight class. And like, so the question was like, how do I give a judgment to two different athletes who are in the same class? And okay, what did I tell you during nationals when you say that you want to try to get first place for juniors?
There was more. What did you say? I remember this word. He was asking me like, do you want me to what? Brainwash or?
No. You want me to break your mental?
I just remember this, and I was like, I'm not sure, man.
So here goes the two things that people really like. It's a bad image for everyone towards myself, but also I find it as a reason why my mental can keep strong, and how I feel like it sort of like filters out my clients. Because, like it or not, if you realize, most of my clients, their mental is very, very, very strong. And like, so far, in any outcomes of any meets, your mental won't break yet.
Yeah.
Right. And what I told you that time was, do you want me to break your mental or not? Because here's the truth. There's no way that you can beat your competitor that time because of the reality numbers that he is putting and what's the reality of if you want to take over. Right? Of course, maybe that day, maybe if we really squeeze you up, but then based on like your third attempt, I think maybe you have like 5 more kg. But even that 5 more kg, in front of my second, still like you were like 20 kg below.
Yeah.
So it's
thinking about it is like it's quite hard.
Yeah. So it's the same as those two girls. Like that time. Because again, at the end of the day, the data is there.
It's still data.
And like maybe there are some times that the data is not accurate because the human mind and the human body is capable of doing more than what you could ever imagine. So maybe suddenly, like let's say, I think that day I told you if you want to win, you need to pull 250.
Yeah,
right. And that in training, the heaviest we did was what, 220, 210?
The previous or the current?
The current one.
The current. No, I don't even hit 210. Just.
Huh?
Yeah, I think it's about.
Comday we did 215. In training, 205.
Yeah, I think it's about that. 205.
Yeah. So 205 to 250 is like it's like crazy.
Yeah.
But that's again like. How to say, I find like my words are harsh, but I find it like, okay, like at least it puts you in a state where like you realize that, oh, I shouldn't like, be super ambitious. And but then I told you, it's not that it's impossible. It's possible, but then not this meet. You have like 1 more year at junior, right?
No.
Or next year you're open already. The other person is also done, right? Next year.
Yujo, right? Yujo, done. We both last year.
So see, like, and the same thing. You previously you always talk about juniors, right? But what do I always say whenever you mention the word juniors?
Fuck, I couldn't remember.
Whenever like there's a junior lifters on their last year.
How many years more you still think you can go? Something like that. Because I've been seeing that like juniors, especially on their last year of juniors, they will start having the anxiety of like, can I get these junior records or not? Can I win or not? Because in the open, I don't have any chances, and I'll be like, bro, like, so what? Like, like if you don't have any chances in the open, then if you're gonna quit, let's not quit now. Right? It sounds very, very harsh, right? And also, like I said, if let's say juniors, I would say, if let's say your junior record is something that like someone can chip the next year, to me, yes, congratulations if you break the record, but also at the same time, it's gonna get cheap next year and someone's gonna forget about you. But if let's say you are someone who can put like 20 kg over that record and no one's gonna touch your record for like 5 years, let's go for it. You know? But I mean, talking about the performance itself, I am satisfied with the result, and I do think that it's enough. And getting that 9.9 out of it is the best moment that I ever had, because none of my previous meets I got 9 out of 9. And this is the first 9.9, and I understood right now like what you were saying. And also, do you know Boris Sheko?
The
Russia, the Boris Sheko itself, he always tells his team like the principle of Russia team is to get 9.9. It's not to like outbeat anyone or go crazy, unless there's certain exception situation where like you only like 1 kilo away from that competitor to win, then you go for it. So that is the game and the mental behind it.
Because I believe, right, when you are too set on a goal, which is not, it's not wrong. It's not wrong to have a goal.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, whenever you have a goal, you need to have like at least 3 tiers of goals.
Yeah.
So let me talk a bit of like my goals of that day. It's very, very simple, right? The number one goal was to get 99 GL points, which was like, it's very, very hard already because 99 points means that I need to total 635, which is like already like out of the planning. So like that goal was toned down to being like, if I can get 615 by hitting all of my third attempt and my end range of my numbers, I'm satisfied. My second goal of that day is to win. And my final it's to win. My final goal of that day is to do the best I can be, and of course 949. So, and yes, you can get 949 easily by playing the safe numbers, but you don't want to do that as well, because like let's be honest, right? If you want to do 949 and be safe numbers, you gonna say that I think I can do more, right? Versus on that day, I think like
gonna regret.
You walk out,
pussy.
But then like you walk out with like thinking that like, oh, I think I did the best I can do, right? So if let's say someone were to say that, okay, my first goal is to break a record, right? Once you didn't hit, and that is your only goal of that day. If you didn't hit that goal, you won't feel any sense of accomplishment at all. So you would feel like I didn't accomplish anything, right?
True.
But by having like, let's say by me having like the third goal, which is like to do the best I can be, and I know that I've given the best I can be out of those circumstances. And of course, my bathroom issue is a problem. But again, like there's nothing else I can do about it, you know. Like that's just an error that happened on my side, and like the whole judging thingy also is like an error that I cannot control. Another thing that I usually tell my clients is, let's say your competitor is strong. What can you do about it? Cannot, right? But what can you do about yourself?
Yes,
you can, right?
I can control about myself.
So
enough,
exactly. So like, if and you know, best case scenario, your competitor mental broke, or your competitor couldn't perform. But the whole main thing is, if you can control yourself, nothing else matters.
I think the reason I love powerlifting is that it's not a sport where it is super competitive, and at the same time it's not a sport where it's like no competition at all. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a very well-rounded sports mentality in powerlifting. The reasons I say that is because, like, you know what, the fact that if you are very weak compared to your opponent, on that meet you are not going to beat that opponent. But what you can do is you control yourself by thinking that you are going to be better the next time, and in the future you are going to be near with your opponent. And that's what mindset that I had throughout my journey. So that's the reason why I enjoy it a lot. Like, you cannot control the things that you cannot control. You just have to control the things that you can control.
And also at the same time, I think like for your case, like I mentioned in the story before, if you realize after we broke your mental barrier, you no longer send me texts or comments saying that like, I'm worried about my back. It's more of like
about my PR. I'm worried about my PR.
So but then it's more of like, oh, can I do more? But then also at the same time, that's also when you realize that if I send you voice notes, it means that like
I'm fucked up.
No, I wouldn't say that. You fucked up. I wouldn't say like any of the clients that fucked up whenever I send like voice notes. But it's more of like, I want them to actually feel the tone of my voice, because if let's say I send those texts in terms of like text, you're gonna think that like I'm like actually yelling at you, versus like if let's say I send in terms of voice notes, you're gonna hear that like, oh, I am stern, but also at the same time, like you can feel that like there's a sense of like empathy in there.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Hisham. I think we almost need to wrap up this episode. You still have that last three condition that you wouldn't accept clients. Just give it a shot to this three, and then we end up this episode.
Yeah. Okay. So
there's too many things to talk about.
number one, if you're a personal trainer,
yeah.
I would say, based on like experiences, personal trainers, 3 months, and then after 3 months,
yeah.
they move out.
Okay.
Because
meaning like how? Like 3
Meaning?
months, as in 3 months staying in personal training?
they train with me for 3 months. And then they just like basically they either just like want to see how powerlifting training is, and then I would bet with you those person trainers who come and train for 3 months, then they walk out, then they're gonna start selling their own powerlifting programs.
Right. So meaning you don't want that people who went out and then start to do their stuff.
No, by all means, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that you realize like in 3 months, if let's say you start with like about like how much do you think like your understanding changes before you start training with me and after you start training with me? A lot, right? So, and this is like our 1 year and 3 months or something.
Yeah.
After SSC number 1, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that is like over the course of like 1 year, and I myself is like still learning a lot from Clinton, and I myself is like giving away those information to you guys as well. So in 3 months, bro, there's about almost like nothing to like think about that 3 months. So that's the part that I am worried, is because your education is not done yet.
Yes.
But like it or not, those certifications that you've done are 3 days. And a lot of people are thinking you can learn it in the very short amount of time. So it's not that I am avoiding personal trainers, but it's more of like I will want to see you first, and also like think about like why do you actually want to learn this. Like for your case, you straight away already say I want to learn and I want to like get better.
So it means that people that who wants to learn.
Yes.
That's the first criteria.
Yes.
If you want to come in and just go and take a like create a course out of it, just fuck it. Yeah. Okay.
Something like that. Second of all, do you not have this problem? Like, do you not have like a fake dating profile?
Dating profile?
Yeah.
No. Why?
Okay, so from my side, so far we found 2 fake Tinder profile and 2 fake Grindr profile.
Of who?
Of me. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So these two other groups of people are, number one, people who are from the Grindr app that sort of like think that like they can get to me, something like that. And unfortunately, there had been cases, bro. There have been cases where even like my friend, who maybe we studied before in like one of the boarding schools or something like that.
Is a guy or girl?
It's a guy, and like he literally like, oh, I wanna like learn and then like previously sometimes I would do video calls with my clients, right? Especially like the very new one that are 20. If let's say and then I of course you don't want to like just assume, and yes, like I don't mind training like people who are sort of like
understand,
bisexual or like people who are like one-sided or not straight or something like that, because I do have like clients like that, which is completely fine. But the fact that like they actually thought that they sort of like really didn't focus on their training, and to me it's like a bit
focusing on you.
To me like it's very like bothering, and like it feels like damn, like, and at some point there's gonna be like a trigger where you know that like this person is not like paying attention, and you don't find the joy of like teaching them.
Of course. I mean, of course. So no gay.
No. I would say like I don't care who I train, because same thing. My clients ask, oh, my guy friend is actually interested in training with you, but then like he's into guys. Then I say, okay, can he focus, and does he really want to train, or is he interested in me instead? And let's say my friend say, oh, he just want to learn the movements.
Yeah.
Then I say, okay, yeah, can. Then like, yes, by all means, like that person become a client, and like it's a long time client already, and it's completely fine.
Okay.
And of course, like sometimes like we do like some stupid jokes and stuff like that, but he knows that like this guy is actually like straight as hell, and he just like enjoy teaching, you know. Second of all is same thing. People who met me through like the fake Tinder, and the thing is that like if they come and train, it's like slightly okay, but then the more annoying part is that like when they inquire you,
fuck me please.
No lah.
Oh sorry, I said squat me please. Oh sorry, I said teach me squat.
I show you my squat.
Yeah, I show you my squat.
I show you my squat. You see my ass.
From the back.
Yeah, and then but like I'll say I'll be like, because it's not that hard to find my phone, my work phone number, because like it's on like Google, and it's on
everywhere, bro. It's everywhere.
So like, if let's say, and then usually it's like, to me it's like a waste of time, because they'll be like WhatsApping you, and then they like ask this and this and this. Oh, like what's your rates? Like how's the training like that? And then you maybe like spend like total of like what 30 minutes like talking to them. And unfortunately, like I'm really annoyed to like talk to you even for like 30 minutes. You know, you get what I mean? So like 30 minutes to me, like if I have nothing else better to do, I can do like my tricep extension, or I can like go sleep, you know. So only then after that, maybe the next day, oh, I'm just curious. And then usually when this line happens,
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Regardless if it comes from guys or girls, I already know where this is gonna lead. And then like I'm just curious, and then I just like stand there and then like waiting, and I think I know where this is going for.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah, and then like they say
they're like big butts.
No lah, it wasn't like that. But more of like they'll be like, oh, actually, I found your profile on this app, and then they won't say the app yet. But of course, like if it's a guy, you sort of like already tell them.
Yeah.
And then like if it's a girl, then you also know.
What the fuck? Who's the one that did this to you?
Bro, we really don't know. And like, then I'll be like, oh, and then I my reply will always be, even if it's a guy or a girl, I'm like, okay, here's the thing. I don't mind training you.
Yeah.
I don't mind coaching you, but I'm just letting you know that the profile is fake, and like it or not, even if you're a girl, but once you are my client, like you have no like we will have a boundary that there's nothing that's gonna ever be between you and me, something like that.
Yeah.
And then like it or not, after that they will just like sort of like say, oh, okay, thank you, and then like they just like won't show up anymore. So like that's the part that like it's a little bit annoying, because it sort of like made it a bit hard, that the fact that it makes our,
I would just say no.
Yeah,
I would just say no,
because I do have like people who are like sort of like is still interested in me, but also at the same time or maybe not straight or something like that, but they really want to learn the movement.
Right.
Like
that's the thing. Yeah,
and like yes, they may be like slightly more talkative when they are training with you because they are more comfortable, but at the same time, like I find joy because they actually try to learn, and they actually try to communicate with you.
Yeah.
So that I think like there's like a fourth criteria. You are hiring a personal trainer. You are not hiring someone to be spending time with you. And this goes back to our earlier conversation where the trainers like go out with like the clients and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like just because like you are paying me doesn't necessarily means that like I need to hear your rants, or like I need to like know this and that, or like you text me like freaking like 2 a.m. in the morning, and then like let's say I don't reply you, and then like you double reply
and putting the sweat emoji with a eggplant.
Oh. No. So far I don't have that. But I did like cancel 2 clients who are like at 2 damn a.m. Like they're still like sort of like trying to talk to me and then text me, and I'll be like, okay.
That's fuck, man.
Yeah, I'll be like, okay, here's the deal. Like, I'm your coach, I'm your trainer, but yes, I can be your friend, but then like this is our like boundary of like if I want to know your stuff, I will ask. If I don't want to know your stuff,
You don't tell.
you don't tell. If you tell me, like let's say during training, like one-on-one, if you tell me something, I hear it, but then like, you know, I might not give any shit about it. Yeah, so something like
That's
that.
true.
So,
But I mean, that goes to the episode with Hisham Akmal.
yeah.
And I have a lot more questions to ask, to be honest.
I know.
But I think we just gotta wrap this up. It's about.
It's okay, we can do part 2.
Yes, we're gonna do part 2, and guys, please feel free to tag us in Instagram and just tell us like what is the thing that you want to hear from us, from Hisham and from SA, and do let us know your feedback in this podcast as well. And I hope to see you guys on the next episode. If you do enjoy this episode, feel free to share to all the social media platform. Tag us, follow us if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next episode. Please give us more thumbs up. I don't know whether if it's helped in Spotify. Give us the 5-star review. I don't know
on Spotify.
No, there's a 5-star review in Spotify.
I don't use Spotify. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, even Apple Podcasts, like please give 5-star reviews if you have. I don't know how it helps, but that just feels cool.
It just feels cool.
See ya.
Yeah, okay, bye bye.
Actually, I have more things, like
I figured. But I think like there's like a little bit like conversations.